Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line, Kaan Ofli. Mate, welcome, first of all.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Now, I have heard your name for many years now, but finally we get to actually have a chat. And I'm very excited about your HEX title fight. First of all, it came in as a bit of an injury replacement. Talk us through how the fight actually happened for you.
Yeah, basically, one of my training partners, Raja Shippen, was matched to fight Jared, and he tore his bicep a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, the next person kind of in line that was available was me, and they asked me, and yeah, so it was kind of as simple as that. Yeah.
Did you do it deliberately or how?
No, I actually wasn't training with him, and unfortunately, it was one of them last round sparring silly accidents, So it was just unfortunate for him.
Now, you were more than likely, I can only imagine, helping him get ready for the title fight. So obviously, you're in tip top shape as well, or did it catch you a little off guard?
No, no, we've all been kind of training hard, like with Jack having that Perth fight in the UFC and a few people being matched, so everyone was quite active in the room, and yeah, we're all kind of training and pushing each other. So it's not like it kind of caught me off guard.
Does that happen a lot with you guys? Are you guys kind of all on the same schedule with Jack Jenkins, of course, with his UFC fight? Are you guys all kind of peaking at the same time, or do you often have fights scattered?
No, just really depends on how things play out. Sometimes someone's got a fight and the others don't, but we're there, to support and help each other and make sure that we're ready for it. But sometimes like this, where there's a lot of us that have actually got fights kind of scheduled, or we're preparing for fights at a very similar time. So at the moment, the gym's quite busy, so it's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, absolutely pumping lately. Can you put into words what it was like to see Jack Jenkins get his shining moment in the UFC?
Man, I was just like, yeah, there was big fulfillment, you know what I mean? Because I know how hard he's worked, and obviously, training with him every day and whatnot. So obviously the Dana White thing was amazing, but to actually have that first UFC fight and also being in Australia and having a dominant performance like that, it was great to see. It was great
Now,
to see. It was great for
how
everyone.
how far away do you feel?
I feel like I'm on the cusp, and I feel like I can smell it.
And speaking of this title fight, is there anything of Jarrett's game that worries you at all, or is there anything you're looking to exploit?
Not really, it's going to be interesting to see what he kind of brings to the table. I feel like I'm a different fight to Raja. Then again, man, like I've been doing this for so long, as you know, so I'm always prepared for everything.
And just kind of going back to the whole start of the career, like why'd you get into fighting in the first place?
For me, it was more of a survival state where I was young and life was quite hard for me, so I was actually going to be joining the army at 18. So I got offered a job role to coach jiu-jitsu and to train full time and whatnot. So yeah, long story short, I kind of just chose the martial arts lifestyle to compared to the military. So one thing led to another, and I guess I was good at it, so I kept going at it, and yeah, here we are.
And you're Turkish descent, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, both my parents are Turkish.
And how long have they been in Australia for?
My father's passed away, but my yeah, they've been in Australia for a while, like 20 years.
Nice. And do you dip into that heritage quite a bit in terms of I don't know, just sort of celebrating that heritage?
Uh, yeah, look, I try and stay close to the community that we have here in Melbourne. There's quite a big Turkish community over here. It's obviously quite hard to get over to Turkey all the time, but I managed to get over there after my fight in Belgium. So that was a great experience.
And in terms of your MMA career, do you have a sort of a planned trajectory? Do you have X amount of fights? You're going to fight into a certain age, or are you just kind of one fight at a time?
Um, yeah, recently I don't know, I kind of thought about it and I said, like I'm probably gonna be fighting till 35, 36. But then again, who knows what happens when I get to that age, and how life is treating me, or how the body's treating me. So yeah, if things are looking up, then I might keep fighting till I'm 40. At the end of the day, like this is who I am now, you know what I mean? Like, so this is the path that I've taken, so it's hard to be someone else.
Is this the path you always thought you were going to take?
Um no, not to begin with. Not to begin with. Like I said, my life was quite rough coming up. So, it's not like I always imagined to be, a UFC world champion or anything like that. But the dream definitely evolved later as I started getting older. So, and the dream is alive now. So, and I believe I can be one of the best in the world.
And tell me if I'm creeping in too far, but can you go into just a little bit of detail, like how you mean rough growing up?
Um, yeah, look, I've been through, poverty, homelessness, violence, drugs, yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff. And yeah, I don't want to kind of get into too much detail right now, kind of get a little bit too much, I reckon. But yeah, yeah.
No.
A lot of people don't actually realize, the kind of the life that I've been brought up in, and what I've kind of gone through when they meet me. They kind of think that I'm just a humble, nice guy, whatever. But got my shit sorted. But yeah, it was hard to get here. So a lot of sacrifices, and yeah, yeah.
So obviously very proud of where you're at now. And how's your mum feel about you fighting?
It's like a love and hate relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's been some fights when she was the loudest person there, and some, yeah, she loves and hates it. But she knows I'm good at it, and she supports me.
And going back to the Hex fight, obviously getting to fight on ESPN and whatnot. Just Hex in general. Is Jarrett the type of fighter that you expected to fight for a title, or do you see him kind of, weird question, but coming up to you, or do you guys feel like you're on the same level? Did you feel like you would always eventually meet?
Uh, Man, like I've kind of I don't really know who was there for me in the division in Australia, to be honest. Like there wasn't many guys, or is many guys left, to be honest. So obviously that fight with Justin Van Heerden fell through, and never got put back together. So at the end of the day, that's the guy that I wanted. He was number one ranked. So, and yeah, like I guess we saw Jared kind of coming up through the ranks and whatnot. And he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He's hungry. He's got talent. So he's no slouch. You know what I mean? So I believe, yeah, I believe it'll be a good fight.
And why do you think that Van Heerden fight never got put back together?
You can ask Eternal, man. I don't, I don't know. You can kind of see how it got played out. One busted his one got a sore thumb and one got a sore toe, and yeah, the rest is history. So I don't know.
And like I said, if I go into it too much, do let me know. But there's a little budding rivalry between you and Mr. Rod Costa. I've never gotten to have you on the mic before to talk about it. But where did it start? Is it just the split decision? Is it just the fight that you guys had? Because there's a lot of back and forth. Do you guys not like each other, or is it just professional rivalry?
It was unanimous decision to
Apologies,
begin with.
apologies.
So
I mean, split it like as in a split, as in like as in splitting down the room. To apologize for that.
look, I don't know what it is. I think it's just his character, to be honest. Not just with him. I've kind of seen it with now one or two other people. I personally think that it's just the crabs in the basket mentality. When someone sees someone doing good and getting to their dreams, they don't like that, and they want to kind of take them down. So not just with him, but it's kind of started happening with one or two other people. So I feel like that's simply what it is, you know. And some people take an L, and you know they get upset with it, and you know they can't handle the loss with humility. So I believe that's just his character, you know, and that's all it is, you know what I mean? So that's what I think it is anyway.
Does that fight interest you at all to do that one again?
I don't know if I have anything to gain from that fight, to be honest. You know, if he had the featherweight belt, then yeah, possibly that could have been interesting. Um, yeah, you know, like we kind of spoke about before, like, you know, I'm on the cusp of getting signed, so beefing with the Australian scene and, you know, talking on media and social media and all that stuff, like that doesn't do anything for me, you know what I mean? Like that's all kind of petty to me. So I'm looking, yeah, above that.
And do you know how close you are to being signed? Like, is there talks? Are you signed with management? Like, what's the next step for you? Let's assume you win on the weekend. What's sort of the next steps to get to that level?
Like, who knows, eh? Like, you know what I mean? This game is pretty it's pretty weird, and it's pretty hard. There's no one way of getting into the UFC. But you know, my record shows, you know, and how long I've been in the fight game, my fighting style, and I believe I'm the best in Australia and New Zealand. So any fight that I have and win, it's just gonna simply just make it known that, you know, that I'm the best. So yeah, I don't know, like what else the UFC would expect me to do, but you know, this would put me onto an 8 fight win streak with 2 titles, and yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, there's a little bit of talks, you know, there's management, you know, everyone's kind of doing their thing, but you know, at the end of the day, I just got to keep winning, and that's all I care about.
Awesome. And what can we expect in this fight against Jarrett on the weekend? Is there anything you're looking to showcase, or just get out there and get the W?
I go out there every time I get the W, row, but it's always exciting. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen in my fights, but every time I fight, it's exciting. There's a certain energy that I bring to the cage, and I think everyone's going to have a good time watching it.
And also, mate, and before I let you go, I just it's kind of what a little question I ask everyone. But after it's all said and done, how does Kaan Ofli want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as one of the best fighters coming out of Australia, representing Australia and Turkey, and yeah, doing my family proud. And yeah, that's all, man. You know, I don't, you know, I'm not looking for, you know, crazy fame, or you know, to be someone that I'm not. But yeah, someone that's kind of sacrificed a lot, come up through hard times, and made it to the world stage.
Awesome. All right. Well, mate, thanks so much for taking the time. I know it's a busy week for you. I wish you the best of luck. I can't wait to see you and Jarrett. That's my fight of the night for this HEX fight series. So I can't wait to see who comes out on top. And selfishly want to see you and Rod scrap again, but then you and the UFC. Okay? So do that for me.
My man.
Take it easy, brother. Best of luck.
Thanks, brother. Nice meeting you. See you, bro.
Bye.